if someone comes to us and say, for example, an Ash'ari, and he says, كيف استوى على العرش? How did Allah ascend above his throne? How did he do that? How is it? So we say to him, then Ibn Taymiyyah mentioned the statement of Al-Rabi'ah and Imam Malik. Al-Istiwa is known. We know that Allah mentioned it in his book. We know that he ascended above the throne. How? Wal-Kayf majhul. How he did it, we don't know. Wal-Imanu bihi wajib. To believe in it is obligatory. Was-su'alu anil kayfiyati bid'ah. And to ask about how, this itself is an innovation in religion. Because this is a question, لأنه سؤال عما لا يعلمه البشر ولا يمكنهم الإجابة عنه. Because this is a question about something that a man is not able to know. Men are not able to have knowledge of this because it's from the unseen. And nor is it possible for them to answer such a question. Then he says, وَكَذَلِكَ إِذَا قَالَ كَيْفَ يَنْزِلُ رَبُّنَا إِلَى سَمَاءِ الدُّنْيَا. So, likewise, one of these people might say, how does Allah descend to the lowest heaven? Explain it to me then. How is Allah descending to the lowest heaven? So you say, قِيلَ لَهُ كَيْفَ هُوَ. So you say to him, okay, well you describe to me, how is Allah then? Because you want me to describe how Allah descends, then I've got to have knowledge about how is Allah then, what is Allah's essence. So if you can tell me what is Allah's essence, how is Allah's essence, then I can answer you how he made istiwa. So obviously, he's got no answer. He can't say it to you because he doesn't have that knowledge. Nobody has that knowledge. So this will silence him. He will say, well, I don't know. He will say, I don't know what is Allah's essence. Well, you say, well, in that case, I don't know how is Allah's istiwa. And I don't know until you can tell me how is Allah's essence. And he can't, you see. So Ibn Taymiyyah says, فَإِذَا قَالَ أَنَا لَا أَعْلَمُ كَيْفِيَتَهُ. I don't know how is Allah and how is Allah's essence. قِيلَ لَهُ وَنَحْنُ لَا نَعْلَمُ كَيْفِيَةَ نُزُولِهِ. إذا العلم بكيفية الصفة يستلزم العلم بكيفية الموصوف وهو فرع له وتابع له. So we respond, just like you don't know how is Allah's essence, then I don't know how is Allah's nuzul, his descent, or his istiwa, because knowledge of the kayfiyah means that we must have knowledge of the one who's been described, which is a branch of it, and we don't have that knowledge. So how can you ask me about how is Allah's sam', hearing, basar, seeing, taklimuhu, his speaking, wa nuzuluhu, his descending, wa istiwa'uhu, and his ascending, yet you yourself do not know how Allah himself is. You understand? How can you start asking me, how is Allah's hearing, seeing, life, speech, istiwa, nuzul, anger, pleasure, whatever? Why are you asking me that when you yourself do not know how is Allah's reality, his essence, So you can't do that. So he says, وَإِذَا كُنْتَ تُقِرُّ بِأَنَّ لَهُ ذَاتًا حَقِيقَةً ثَابِتَةً فِي نَفْسِ الْأَمْرِ مستوجبة لصفات الكمال لا يماثلها شيء فسمعه وبصره وكلامه ونزوله واستواءه ثابت في نفس الأمر. Basically he's saying that okay, if you are saying I accept Allah exists and his essence exists and I do not know, I don't have any knowledge as to how his essence is, then the same thing applies to his attributes. Why don't you also say then in that case, I accept that Allah has hearing, seeing, that he descends, that he ascends, that he becomes angry, becomes pleased, that he speaks, then he has life, yet I don't know how that is. Why do you have a problem here? Wajh al-Rafi'. So this discussion is like with the Jahmi, the Mu'tazili, so this is the end of the speech of Shaykh Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. So basically here the principle is that if anybody argues with you about the sifat, then you answer him on the basis of the that, of the essence of Allah Azza wa Jal. Right? And it's the same with the soul. Same with the soul. You ask someone, you say to the Jahmi or the Mu'tazili or the Ash'ari, do you believe that the soul exists? Is there a soul? Well, yes, there's a soul. Is the soul true and real? Like, meaning, it's not just an idea, right? There's a thing, an actual thing that comes out of the body, and it's a real thing, an actual real thing. It has a haqiqah, and it has a kayfiyah, right? Do you believe that? Oh, yes, I do. Okay, so now tell me, explain to me the reality of this soul. Well, I can't. Well, why can't you? Because I haven't seen it, and I've never been informed about how it is. But you still believe that the soul exists? Well, yes, I do. But you don't know the kayfiyah? Well, no, I don't. Okay, so if you accept that, then do you accept that the soul can hear and can see, and that the soul lives? Is the soul living? Yes, it's living. Does the soul speak? Well, yes, it can speak. Okay, now explain to me, how does it speak? Well, I can't. Why can't you? But do you believe that it speaks? Well, yes, I do. But, tell me how. Well, I can't, because I don't have any knowledge of what the soul is, what it's made of. Okay, so if you have accepted this, you're a Jahmi, Mu'tazili, Ash'ari, whatever, how then can you deny? Because the principle is exactly the same. Allah exists. His essence, He has a real and true essence. We don't know how it is, what it is. And He has attributes. He lives, He hears, He sees, He becomes angry, becomes pleased. Right? Why can't you say the same thing about these attributes? That Allah has these attributes and I don't know how they are, because I don't know how His essence is. Right? So if you can accept this for the soul, the same principle, how can you then not accept this in relation to Allah Azza wa Jal? Right? So that's the basic argument. So here, we are using this principle that Al-Khatib mentioned. وَالْأَصْلُ فِي هَذَا أَنَّ الْكَلَامِ فِي الصِّفَاتِ فَرْعٌ عَلَى الْكَلَامِ فِي الذَّاتِ. Right? Speech about the attributes is a branch about speech about the essence. Right? So if you speak about the essence, if you say, yes, Allah exists, Allah has an essence, it's true and real, I don't know how it is, then the speech about the attributes is a far', is a branch. The same thing applies. So how can you apply the principle here and then not apply the principle here? Right? It's a contradiction. Right? It's a contradiction. And that's why Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, he's mentioned this principle, that this is how we refute these people on the sifat. Right? We make them accept that speech about the attributes is just like speech about the essence, the that. Right? And then we expose their contradiction like this.